Later, Jimmy Fallon welcomes Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Ernie Hudson. NBC.
Check your cameras. Trust only the best. Protect your family, home, or business with 24/7 armed guard response. Remember, AmeriGuards it.
Lithia Subaru of Fresno proudly supports tonight's first segment of local news that matters. Lithia Subaru of Fresno. Subaru. Confidence in motion.
KSEE 24 News begins with your forecast first from your local weather authority.
I'm Chief Meteorologist AJ Fox. A dense fog advisory has been issued for the valley, and our live valley cam shows us why. The visibility is quite low out there across the valley, and not just for Fresno, but down Visalia Way. Visibility is really dropping. A lot of valley cities, several, are at a quarter mile, and in between, it's probably worse. Temperatures currently in the 50s. We're at 54 right now in Fresno. The dense morning fog is going to give us a little bit of clearing later in the day. Temperatures, though, will be in the mid-60s, and I'll have your complete forecast coming up. KSEE 24 News at 11 starts right now.
Local news that matters. This is KSEE 24 News at 11.
We've reduced our investigative unit, our narcotics, our gang unit, eliminated a lot of specialty units that we used to have.
The city of Clovis in need of more police officers, and plans are in the works to make it happen. The Clovis City Council taking an important step tonight. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Stephanie Baruchian.
And I'm Alex Zombaleki, and this is where we begin tonight, where the Clovis Police Department is in dire need of more officers, but the City Council is looking to its residents to see where they are most needed. So tonight, in a unanimous vote, the Clovis City Council will create a Citizens Advisory Committee that will evaluate the police department. Our Liv Johnson joining us live from police headquarters in Clovis with more on the committee's role. Liv, good evening.
Good evening. Well, the committee the council did not only discuss whether this committee should be formed, but what the goal of the committee should be. Ultimately, they decided they want these citizens to help them answer the question of how they can keep Clovis the safest city in the valley.
What kind of a city do you want to live in, and what are you willing to pay for it?
That's the question Clovis City Council members are hoping to have by a citizen advisory committee that will be tasked with creating ideas on how the police department can better serve the public.
Do we want to continue to do the stuff that has been done traditionally in Clovis? Is it time we change the processes?
It all started when the police department brought in a third-party consultation company to do an evaluation and determined they need at least 138 officers. Currently, the department is budgeted for 106, and Police Chief Kurt Fleming says it's forced them to eliminate multiple units.
We've reduced our investigative unit, our narcotics, our gang unit, eliminated a lot of specialty units that we used to have.
Former Police Chief Matthew Baskell attended the council meeting as a citizen to add his own remarks, bringing up the fact that the department has 4 fewer officers than it did in 2006, while the city added 40,000 residents during that time span.
The departments don't grow, the police departments, the fire departments don't grow with the city, then we're going to have problems down the road. And these are some of the things that we've been talking about, for several years now.
City Council members unanimously approved the creation of a citizen advisory committee that will include 5 citizens for each council member. The ultimate goal being that the committee provides input on how the department can better use their resources and if they should have more.
That's the conversation our citizens have to have.
Council members must now decide details like who will join the committee and how often they will meet. They said they'd like to have those things figured out within the next 6 months. Live in Clovis, I'm Liv Johnson, KSEE 24, local news that matters.
Thank you, Liv. A plan to create a new man-made lake for water storage is one step closer to development. The U.S. Bureau of Reclamation is releasing their latest updated plans on the proposed site's reservoir. It would be north of the San Joaquin Delta in both Glenn and Colusa counties, and it would be 3 times the size of Millerton Lake. Planning and construction could take at least 10 years.
Any additional water storage in the state of California benefits everybody.
Although the project is not planned to directly supply water to farms in and around Fresno, it could increase overall water availability.
In the South Valley, a Tulare County deputy is rushed to the hospital during a call for a welfare check. The call came in around 2:30 this afternoon near Linnell Camp in Farmersville. Officers found a deputy who had a warrant for her arrest, and during a search they found a white substance on her, and one deputy began to feel sick and showed signs of being exposed to fentanyl. Evaluation. There's been no update on the deputy's condition. The woman was arrested for possession of drugs.
Fresno police are identifying the victim of a weekend shooting as 31-year-old Jamie Miller Pearson. Miller Pearson was shot near Fresno's Cornelia and Parkway Drive on Saturday night, and officers say she was shot several times in the parking lot of her apartment complex. She was taken to CRMC for treatment. Police confirmed that this morning she died from those injuries. Anyone with information is asked to call Fresno Police.
Tulare County sheriffs responding to a middle school after reports of a student possibly having a gun. Deputies were told a 12-year-old student at Early Mart Middle School had pulled out what appeared to be a BB gun and showed it to another student. That student then told the teacher, and the teacher called the police. Investigators determined the gun was a replica. The student was suspended, and the case turned over to the Tulare County District Attorney.
One man in the hospital following a stabbing this morning in Fresno. Officers were called to First and McKinley shortly after 10 a.m. They found the stabbing victim, and the suspect was found nearby and was detained by officers. Investigators are looking for any witnesses or surveillance video.
Today, hundreds coming together to honor a correctional officer who lost his battle with COVID-19. The funeral for Correctional Officer Juan Cruz held this morning. A procession started on Belmont Avenue at the Chapel of Light. It traveled to Holy Spirit Catholic Church. Cruz was 52 years old. The sheriff's office says he contracted COVID while working and then died on November 5th.
Gas prices are surging, hitting a record high statewide, and local businesses that make deliveries are definitely feeling it. Karen Alvarez with more on the impact.
I never thought I'd see the day I could put 20 bucks in my motorcycle tank.
This local Fresnan enjoys riding his motorcycle, but the recent pump prices are giving many like him a headache.
And we've been up around $4 a gallon for a long time, most of the time. It's only, the last year we got a little relief. It was nice.
According to AAA, the average gas price in California is $4.68 a gallon. In Fresno, gas price is slightly below average, but surpassing the $4.40.
Gas prices impact everything.
Sarkis Javorkin owns 525 Pizza in Fresno. He says on average, they're doing about 20 pizza deliveries a week. He's hopeful he won't have to make any price adjustments to his delivery costs as gas prices go up.
Thank you. If it goes up anymore, I might need to eventually, but I also have to consider keeping it affordable for our customers.
Javorkin says the increases in gas prices can end up having a direct impact on his customers.
At the same time, it's hard to bring the cost up to the consumers because then you lose customers. A struggle, but we have to make it work.
He adds that many of his distributors' prices have also gone up, and he's having to adjust.
Their prices is going up as well, and understandably so. And they make up for the gas prices and everything else.
But hopes to keep delivery costs low so that his customers won't have to pay the price.
The gas prices going up, I mean, we have to raise those prices to account for that loss, basically.
Karen Alvarez, KSEE 24, local news that matters.
And still to come, the president's infrastructure plan is now law as billions of dollars in improvements have the funding to move forward.
Fight the cynics. Democrats and Republicans can come together and deliver results. We can do this.
But is it enough to help families struggling to manage rising costs? We've got a report from Washington.
And giving Santa Claus a helping hand. Yes, Santa Claus, how you can help make a child's Christmas wish come true.
Your weather headlines for tonight. We have now a dense fog advisory, low visibilities across the valley right now. Expect some clearing tomorrow with afternoon temperatures reasonably close to normal. Your 4-day allergy forecast brought to you by Boz Allergy will stay in the low range through the remainder of the week. Elm and juniper the predominant pollens, and I'll have your complete forecast as KSEE 24 News continues.
This is KSEE 24 News at 11 with Stephanie Barugian, Alexon Balakian, and the certified most accurate forecast with AMS certified Chief Meteorologist AJ Fox. Your local weather authority, KSEE 24. Local news that matters.
Let's help feed Valley families
in the KSEE 24 Turkey Drive with Catholic Charities.
So donate a turkey November 23rd at the KSEE 24 studios.
And help us provide meals.
The KSEE 24 Turkey Drive, November 23rd.
Stop by our studios or text GIVE to donate. The KSEE 24 Turkey Drive, November 23rd. Presented by Fiesta Tax Services.
For those ready to answer adventure's highest calling, we've built our most capable Subaru yet. With sure-footed symmetrical all-wheel drive, 9.5 inches of ground clearance, and turbocharged climbing power. Discover Adventure Elevated, the all-new 2022 Subaru Outback Wilderness.
Get to Subaru of Fresno, where every new Subaru comes with complimentary maintenance included.
Last week, Jimmy had big fun.
Will for the steal.
And big surprises.
I lied.
This week, Jimmy welcomes Jared Leto, Lin-Manuel Miranda, Simu Liu, Vanessa Hudgens, Whoopi Goldberg, and tonight, Phineas. New Tonight Show.
When it's hard to find work, I work harder.
I'm doing what I can to get by.
There's one thing you might be missing.
Huh?
CalFresh, the statewide program that helps you buy food when money's tight. Use it in stores or online.
But I'm not totally broke.
You can have some income.
That would make paying bills easier.
Easier than those delivery instructions. Apply in 10 minutes at calfreshfood.org.
KSEE 24 News is brought to you in part by Tachi Palace Casino Resort.
Now, AMS certified Chief Meteorologist AJ Fox with your local weather authority forecast.
Well, since last we spoke, visibility has been dropping quite a bit. The National Weather Service wisely put out a dense fog advisory a little after 8, and it lasts until noon tomorrow. And take a look at the visibility across the valley. It's a quarter mile in Porterville, Fresno, Madera, Hanford, and Lemoore. A half-mile visibility in Visalia. It's unusual that they're not the worst. 1.75 miles in Merced. So definitely that visibility is kind of lower. Valley Cam, powered by A13 Properties. This is time-lapse photography from our normal view on top of our building. And this is just right around sunset, a little before. I think it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon when this time-lapse photography stops. Don't move your eyes away from the screen. We see the sun go down, we see a little bit of fog, and then closer to 11 o'clock, it really starts to come in. And now that's what it looks like outside right now. Visibility is quite low. We only got to 64 for a high, which is a 1 degree below normal, but we started very warm because of the low clouds. And so even though we're at 54 degrees right now in Fresno, we're not going to get much cooler. The forecast low is 52. So we're kind of where we're at as far as temperature goes for tonight. Live radar. This doesn't tell much of a story because all the cloudiness is next to the ground, below the radar, so it's not going to show up at all. This is our visible satellite, but it's only through for the daylight hours. So this was this morning's fog that was clearing away and being replaced by some more clouds. And now we've got this new front that's going to be coming in. This is going to help, I think, clear out some of that fog later on during the day tomorrow. So as this front gets a little bit closer to us, we're going to see a lot of that visibility kind of go along with it and away from us. And so we should see better clearing in the next couple of days, and then a new round of cloudiness is going to be coming our way in the next couple of days into the future. Air quality remains good to moderate. Fresno and Madera County, wood burning's only okay if you have the registered wood burning device. Tonight, overnight low of 47 in Pixley, 48 in Tulare and Visalia, 48 for Huron, 49 in Selma, and same for Madera, 51 in Oakhurst, 50 in Chowchilla and Merced, 49 expected in Los Banos. High temperature of 64 in Merced, 66 in Dos Palos, 65 64 in Chowchilla, 67 in Oakhurst, warmer in the foothills than on the valley floors in some spots like Selma, 62, 63 in Hanford, 65 in Corcoran, 64 in Pixley, and also for Delano. Your renewable solar forecast. Well, we're expecting better sunshine on Wednesday. The number comes up, and then it drops back down with a little increase in clouds on Thursday. Tonight, dense fog. Obviously, a dense fog advisory is in effect. 52 is the overnight low. Tomorrow, the dense fog advisory is still with us, and then some clearing in the afternoon. High temperature of 66, very similar to where we were today. So over the next 7 days, we get a little bit better clearing, a little bit warmer on Wednesday, a little more warming on Thursday, and then temperatures turn around. We start getting cooler again as we head in towards the weekend. Now, the difference is it's not as much fog because the air that's going to start moving our way is going to be a little bit drier, and we won't have as much of an opportunity for fog this weekend. And our high temperatures, though, staying in the mid-60s, which is pretty close to normal for mid and end of November stuff. Your regional forecast is available on our website at yourcentralvalley.com, so please go check it out there. Tomorrow morning, dense fog out there. I mean, if it's this low now, imagine what it'll be like tomorrow morning. It's just continually getting worse.
Be careful.
Yeah, you guys too, going home.
Yeah,
you too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everybody in the morning, be careful. All right, California's top fire official stepping down. In a letter to his staff on Monday, Cal Fire Chief Tom Porter wrote, with bittersweet feelings balanced by deep pride for Cal Fire and anticipation for the future, I will be retiring December 10th, end quote. Cal Fire officials spoke out to say they respected Porter for his work with the agency.
He has to overcome a lot of bureaucracy that comes with that. And I believe he tried to do that. But Cal Fire is an animal, and every year the circumstances and around it gets even more complicated. And so I think he did the best he could with what was given to him.
Now, Porter said he will be returning to San Diego to focus on family, his parents, and himself. All right, time to see what's coming up next in sports.
And for that, we check in with Scott Bemis. Hey, Scott.
Guys, we got the Niners and Rams under the Monday night lights and a couple Valley products shining in college. Plus, the Fresno State men's basketball team trying to stay perfect on the year, hosting Idaho at the Save Mart Center. Sports Central is next.
The Fulton Street Party returns to downtown Fresno. Join KSEE 24 for the celebration Saturday, November 20th. Live music, Kids Zone, local craft beer, wine tasting, food trucks, and more. Join us to highlight everything good in downtown Fresno.
COVID is an everyday concern, and testing remains critical. If you're traveling, have been exposed, or are having symptoms, Premium Urgent Care offers online appointment setting at convenient Valley locations and same-day test results. Get quality medical care at Premium Urgent Care today.
We think we have something rather unique here. We have a client care center that handles all of our inbound service calls. They are handling approximately 10,000 inbound telephone calls a month. In addition to that, they are providing 3,000 to 5,000 outbound phone calls in which they call customers and try to set appointments up to complete recalls and other services that are needed. Whether you're in front of the service salesperson or on the telephone, every customer is important, and when you're the customer, you're the most important.
The Black Friday mattress sale is on at Sleepmore. Inside, more furniture for less.
Save up to $800 on adjustable mattress sets from Sealy, Tempur-Pedic, and Stearns & Foster.
Our top-of-the-line mattress brands are on sale. And right now, you can take until December 2027 to pay.
That's 2027 interest-free financing on Sealy, Tempur-Pedic, and Stearns & Foster.
Upgrade your sleep just in time for the holidays during the Black Friday mattress sale, going on now at Sleepmore.
If you don't have a primary care doctor for your family, Premium Urgent Care provides all general health services at multiple Valley locations. Set your appointment online and Premium Urgent Care will serve you quickly for the health of those you love. Get quality care at Premium Urgent Care today.
KSEE 24 News is brought to you in part by California Scuba Center. Now, Sports Central, presented by Toyota.
The Fresno State men's basketball team rekindled an old WAC rivalry on Monday night against the Idaho Vandals. These teams last played back in 2012. The Bulldogs won that game. Would they win this one and start the season 3-0? Orlando Robinson, not surprisingly, was the go-to guy, especially in the first half. He scored 15 of his game-high 27 points there on 11 of 19 shooting. Also had 10 boards for yet another double-double for the Big O. Bulldogs led by 5 at halftime. Second half, we saw the season debut of Deion Stroud. He sat out first season. Made his presence felt, the step-back jumper here, plus the foul. Then later, Dion, who's known for his dunks, throws down a two-handed monster off the bounce pass from Robinson. Stroud scored 13 in 17 minutes of action. The Dogs win 69-62. They're 3-0, despite the fact they turned the ball over 16 times.
Defense and turnovers, well, they go hand in hand. You know, the last 2 games, we've shot over 50% from the field, but both times we've turned the ball over. So we did the addition in there today, that if you cut those in half, and then we make half of those shots, when we turn it over, the other team is in transition. So now that helps our defense. So that's what we talked about in there, because if we're going to be good, we're going to have to cut that out.
Look at that Rams. Well, some Monday Night Football from Santa Clara. The Niners, desperate for a win, hosting the Rams. OBJ made his Rams debut, had a couple catches, but the LA offense struggling all night. Jimmy Ward returning one of his 2 interceptions for a score here. And the Niners offense would rush for 156 on the ground on 44 total carries, the most rushes for the Niners in 9 years. They rolled 31-10. They're 4-5. The Rams fall to 7-3. Former Bullard Knight and current UNLV running back Charles Williams was named the Mountain West Offensive Player of the Week on Monday. The Chuck Wagon carried the ball a school record 38 times for 266 yards and 3 touchdowns in Saturday's win over Hawaii. Also became just the 4th player in Mountain West history to reach 4,000 yards rushing in his career. Finally, time for that video, a little better than the rest. It's Bemis' Best. And speaking of former high school stars from the Central Valley, ex-Emmanuel standout Colin Slater was outstanding on a big stage Monday night. Against second-ranked UCLA at Pauley, Slater finished with 27, including 17 points during a 5.5-minute stretch in the first half. Long Beach still lost, but perhaps more importantly, Slater gets a coveted spot in Bemis' Best. Slater, who's now a 6th-year senior in college, went 10 of 13 from the field, 5 of 6 from 3, only turned the ball over 1 time in 33 minutes.
Paul Mitchell, the school Fresno, is proud to be helping future professionals follow their dreams and reach great goals. We can help you pursue your career in cosmetology or barbering, and financial aid is available to those who qualify. Come make it happen now at Paul Mitchell, the school Fresno.
The job market's hot and the time is now. Full-time jobs available. Bring us your A game and we'll match you up with an opportunity. Spherion places thousands of people each year in terrific jobs. Let's get to work.
Experience the possibilities of anti-aging medicine at Maj Medical Clinic. Dr. Majzubi's treatment uses the healing benefits of your own stem cells for your optimum health.
I had stabbing pains in my legs from the neuropathy. I did a lot of research and it kept coming up with stem cells. It was a miracle, honestly. I felt better the next day.
If you're suffering from asthma, COPD, arthritis, autoimmune disease, or other neurologic conditions, call Maj Medical Clinic and see if stem cell treatment and cellular therapy are right for you.
At Tough Shed, we've spent the last 40 years testing the strength and durability of our buildings in some pretty unique ways. And we're still at work, making sure that our buildings are built to last. Just see for yourself. Is it ready?
It's ready.
Experience the Tough Shed difference for yourself at toughshed.com.
Fresno, Madera, and Merced counties are in urgent need of loving homes for children in foster care. If you've considered fostering a child, Promesa Behavioral Health is here for you with 24-hour support, training, and financial reimbursement. Promesa treats foster parents and children like family, and families always there for one another. Be there for a child in need. Promesa Behavioral Health will be there for you.
We're in this together.
Call 559-439-KIDS or go to promesabehavioral.org.
The job market's hot and the time is now. Spherion has temp to hire, and full-time jobs available. Bring us your A game and we'll match you up with an opportunity. Spherion places thousands of people each year in terrific jobs. Let's get to work.
Now YourCentralValley.com, pros who know.
Temp to hire work is a try before you buy for employers and for you. Stay sharp and focused and be productive and reliable to get that full-time job offer. Let's get to work.
For more expert advice, go to YourCentralValley.com/pros who know.
This is KC24 News at 11.
President Biden has signed that $1 trillion infrastructure bill into law, calling it a historic investment. But in the midst of rising inflation, a new poll tonight shows the president's approval rating is suffering. NBC's Peter Alexander reports.
President Biden tonight touting his biggest legislative victory to date.
Despite the cynics, Democrats and Republicans can come together and deliver results. We can do this.
Signing into law that $1 trillion infrastructure bill surrounded by Democrats and a small number of Republicans. The largest federal investment in infrastructure in more than a decade will provide good-paying jobs, the White House says, directing $110 billion to upgrade roads and bridges, $65 billion to improve high-speed internet, and $15 billion to replace lead pipes in the country's drinking water system.
My message to the American people is this: America's moving again, and your life is going to change for the better.
Still, the celebration may be short-lived. The latest poll shows the president's approval rating continuing to drop, even after the infrastructure bill was passed, with Democrats still divided whether to spend another $1.75 trillion on his social program and climate plan, and as Americans' paychecks are stretched. Inflation soaring to a 31-year high, prices surging across the board, including gas jumping 50%, beef costing 20% more. Just today, Tyson Foods saying it's raised its beef, pork, and chicken prices because of escalating expenses. Kiana Cook in Maryland is struggling to pay the spiking costs.
Chuck Rose could feed my niece and her kids, and it's about like this, $35, $25. Just absolutely outrageous.
The Moser family in Pennsylvania also feeling the pinch.
Spending $100 a week in gas is very taxing.
Things that I would normally, spend maybe $1.50 to $2 on, I'm spending $3.75 on.
And another critical test for the president late tonight, a virtual summit with China's President Xi. White House officials already lowering expectations for the meeting, saying not to expect any concrete outcomes, but that President Biden will tell Xi he, quote, expects him to play by the rules of the road and will confront the Chinese leader on Beijing's unfair economic practices, its poor human rights record, and threats toward Taiwan.
Peter Alexander reporting there, and a couple of our local elected officials did attend today's historic bill signing. Valley Congressman Jim Costa and State Senator Melissa Hurtado. Billions of dollars from the infrastructure bill will go directly to projects for the Central Valley, including roads, water, infrastructure, and high-speed rail.
America has always been able to meet the challenges of the day when we've been willing to make those kinds of investments in our country.
Mayor Jerry Dyer was also invited to the signing ceremony at the White House, but could not attend due to prior engagements.
Coming up, your chance to give Santa a helping hand and make Christmas wishes come true.
How you can volunteer to be one of Santa's helpers when we come back.
I just had a friend direct message me and say, how can you work in media? It's so negative. There's so much bad news. And I messaged her back and said, there's always more good news than bad. And I think that at News Nation, we have the opportunity to show more positivity and the stories of people from all walks of life. When you have something like Morning in America to wake up to, you can guarantee that you're not only going to leave more informed, but you're going to leave more inspired.
We do need to stand with each other, don't we?
Weekday mornings on News Nation, the fastest growing cable news network.
When it's time to explore, it's time for a new Toyota. Experience the drive like never before. Dive into something new, or come back to the things you missed most. New Toyotas are arriving daily. Take on the gnarliest terrains with a capable Tacoma and dependable Tundra. All Toyotas come with Toyota Safety Sense and Toyota Care Standard. Grab the keys, come on, let's go. Toyota, let's go places.
Invert your thinking with a free upgrade to the IQ8 microinverter, the world's only microinverter that provides instant energy backup during a power outage from solar and battery storage contractor. Here's veteran, founder and owner, Kelly Shawhan.
In the military, when you give your word, it just is your word. Work hard and keep your word. That's what we do every single day.
Heard about Semper Solaris and found out that they were veterans, so I knew they were going to do the job right.
Add Tesla Powerwall and be ready for blackouts. We get the job done with esprit de corps and honor. Semper Solaris offers new heating and air conditioning systems with a lifetime warranty and new roofs with a 50-year warranty. We hire vets and give back to the community with our Semper Cares initiative. Go solar American style with Semper Solaris. 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments until 2023. Get the federal 26% solar and battery tax credit. $500 downloadable coupon. $500 off for military first responders and healthcare workers. Call now or visit sempersolaris.com.
Fall allergy season has started with grass and weed pollen and high levels of mold in the air. Air pollution makes allergy symptoms worse. Boz Allergy knows coughing, wheezing, and headaches due to allergies and asthma can mimic COVID-19 symptoms, and flu season is starting. Come to Boz Allergy at the first sign of symptoms. Rest assured we'll diagnose and treat you accurately. Stay safe and stay healthy. Contact Boz Allergy today and breathe easier.
You can have straight teeth in about 180 days. Dr. Tom Wigg is Fresno's only senior master provider of fast braces, a unique new patented method of achieving straight teeth in half the time at half the price. Dr. Tom and his experienced staff at Fast Dental Fresno can get your smile on fast. Your treatment could be done before we take our masks off. Join our new retainer club for same-day retainer replacement. Make this your smile for a lifetime year. Call now for a free exam and consultation, 433-6730. Fast Dental in Park Crossing Village.
Tomorrow on KSEE 24 Sunrise.
We speak with a nonprofit that's combating food insecurity in the Central Valley. We'll see you tomorrow at 5 a.m.
Hey everyone, Phineas is here tonight for Talk and a performance. Plus we have Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Ernie Hudson tonight.
If you would like to be one of Santa's helpers this year, the U.S. Postal Service needs your help. Volunteer registration for Operation Santa started today. The program lets families and children in need write a letter to Santa describing what they may want for Christmas. And if you sign up to adopt one of these letters, you can buy them the gift they wanted and have it sent to them directly.
And if you'd like to spread a little Christmas cheer and take part in Operation Santa, we do have a link on our website, yourcentralvalley.com. Well, Santa doesn't have to worry about the fog just yet.
No, I don't think even Rudolph
I was going to say, this is a Rudolph kind of night, but yeah, the visibility has been dropping on us the last couple of hours. Take a look at our 7-day outlook, which is dense fog advisory, obviously, for tomorrow, and a little bit improvement on the fog for Wednesday, and looking into the weekend, the clouds and a little front will come through, and that will help clear out some of this fog. And that means we'll have morning low temperatures that'll dip down into the mid-40s early next week. In the meantime, visibility right now across the valley was about a quarter mile in a lot of spots. And looking outside, Chris, if we can look outside, it would be cool. The visibility is, man, Chris is awesome. Do you see how? Yeah. That's the Carl's Jr. across the street, and you can't even see the logo. Yeah, where's right? That's McKinley, and then off in the distance, downtown Fresno. And so visibility is just, it's bad. Be careful.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, that does it for us. Thank you for joining us.
We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
Many places full of history mark the valley. Join me as I take you on a tour of the people and places that made history right here in our backyard. This week, a place named for a runaway who made a life for himself. On the Map, Thursdays at 6 on KSEE 24.
It's time to find your next Chevy truck and forge ahead. Take on